Welcome back to Breakfast Television. It's 7:43, and joining us on the BT couch this morning, Dr. Sandra Clark. She's going to help us help our kids ease some of their back-to-school anxiety, which they may or may not have. What's step number one?
Step number one, start getting back into a regular routine. Most people sleep in the summers and stay up a little bit later, and it's important to start to set a regular bedtime routine, get up early in the morning, build in some structure in the day, have regular meal times, provide some nice healthy meals.
So we can start doing that today, which is always such a difficult thing to do when you're going, oh, we've got 2 weeks left, but that'll help ease some of the early anxieties.
It will. 1 to 2 weeks is a good time frame to aim for building in that routine and structure again.
Okay, great. Step number two.
Provide opportunities for your kids to talk about what's on their mind for school. For younger kids, providing some regular time in the day so that they can talk about what their thoughts are about going back to school. And for teenagers, often it's more when you're driving or you're kind of sitting side by side, they're often less likely to want to talk as openly when you're sitting directly with them.
I always find driving with my kids in the car, my kids are not teenagers yet, but I always find it a really nice quiet time where you know, the thoughts flow a little bit better, and when you don't have that eye contact, some more personal feelings come up. Yeah?
Absolutely.
That's great. All right, so we're talking about the top 5 ways that you can help your kids deal with back to school anxiety. Number 3?
Number 3, help your kids problem solve through things. So anxious kids in general tend to focus a little bit on the negative and all the worst case scenarios that can happen. So remind the kids, well, how did you get through anxious situations before? What worked last time? What could we draw on to help for this next time?
And do you think there's a particular time of the day that works better for some kids, or is it each is individual?
Oftentimes the worried thoughts will come up at night, and that's a bit of a good news in the sense that the kids are talking about it, but you don't want to be opening the door necessarily for those conversations at night if the kids aren't bringing them up naturally.
All right, step number 4.
Number 4 is, as a parent, often anxious kids will draw on the anxiety of their parents. So for parents to stay calm, even if you're anxious on the inside, stay calm on the outside and model confidence for your kids and trust that they'll get through these situations. Okay,
I'm just gonna have to stomp this one home here with me. So I've got Ozzy starting kindergarten in the fall, and I feel like he's not showing signs of having, you know, going to school anxiety. But then every once in a while, when I feel it come up in me that he's growing up, I think, oh no, he must be. But is it possible I'm just projecting it onto him? So how do I kind of handle my own back to school anxieties while helping my kids?
Well, it's a good question. And anxiety in many kids is normal going back to school, and they'll show it in different ways, but some kids actually are quite excited about it. So thinking about the positives, but certainly, you know, as a parent, you know your child the best and trust your instincts around that. But if you're noticing that your anxiety, you're more anxious about it, sometimes kids are not as anxious as you think they're going to be.
So if you're not anticipating that you're just checking in. You're just checking in, they seem fine. What's a good opening statement to kind of start that conversation?
So sometimes is to talk about kids. Well, here are some of the things that kids sometimes worry about going back to school. Who the teacher's going to be? Are you going to have some friends in class? You know, who am I going to sit with at lunchtime? So sometimes if you open up those doors, that provides the kids an opportunity to know that if they are thinking those things, it's normal and typical, and then it provides an opportunity to start a conversation. And for older kids and teenagers starting high school is, am I going to find my classes? Or will I remember the combination to my lock, or where my locker is? Or
and really quickly, the number 5 way to help your kid with anxiety
is really focus on the positives. Anxious kids, as I said, tend to focus on the negative. So remind them, oh, what do you look forward to about school? What might be some things that you're excited about?
So helpful. Thank you so much, Dr. Clark. And I know we've got some information for everyone about when to kind of take it to the next level. If maybe just you and your kid is not enough, here is some great information for you. And thank you again, Dr. Clark, for joining us this morning. 2 weeks to back to school. Things that we can do now to help our kids deal with back to school anxiety.